Greetings, everyone. My name is Michael Raso. I'm here with John Fideli.
Hey, everybody.
The gang will be here later.
Yes.
John, before we started rolling, John was asking about, it's like, do you remember?
Do you remember getting your eyes burned out on Christmas morning by a flash bar with 4 1,000-watt bulbs on it?
I do.
They're probably 500 watts, right?
Yes, they're probably 500
It's
watt
like
each.
2,000 watts blasting in your face. That's a lot of watts.
Well, John and I are of a certain age.
Yes.
Like, we were little children in the late 60s.
So the only way to document was film.
So we would wake up on Christmas morning and,
Have to wait forever for Dad to get the camera loaded and find a plug for the light bar and
yeah.
an extension cord so we can move around.
It was an amazing amount of light, and so many people's home movies have like the shots of the kids with like their hand in front of their eyes.
You do too. I've seen yours. I've seen it.
Like,
They're like, look in the camera and smile, and you can't see anything. You're just blinded.
That's because the ISO was 25.
Was it really?
Kodachrome 25.
Wow.
If it was black and white, it was 10.
Jeez.
And then a few years later, it was a big deal. Kodachrome 40.
Wow. Well, that
Still needed the lights.
Nearly doubled it. I remember my parents asking me, like, what did you get? Hold it up. I'm like, I don't know. I can't see.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Where are those movies?
I have them. I think my sister got them put onto DVD, which will soon be obsolete.
And she's like,
Oh, John, I have the DVD. I threw the films away.
Yeah.
No, I hope not. I should ask her.
yeah.
I should. She has
Because the
them.
DVD is probably crap quality.
Yeah. I have to get them, what do you call it? Digimatized.
Digimatized here at the FPP movie film
Do
department.
you guys do that? Do you archive?
Yeah. We get a lot of vintage film here.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Mostly 8 or 16 too?
Some 16, mostly 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome, folks, to our holiday spectacular.
And regardless of your faith, we hope you're having a very nice holiday season.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Let's not forget all of our friends of varying faiths.
Today, we're going to be talking about the newest light meter from Riveni Labs.
Oh.
Then we're going to have a book of the month. And then Matt's going to be talking about nonlinear editing on your phone.
Ooh, Matt.
Which is very handy. I mean, if you're shooting videos
Absolutely.
with your phone, but also if you're getting your
Digital
if you're shooting
files.
Super 8 or 8 millimeter, you could put your file on your phone and
While you're commuting to work on the train or bus, you
edit
can
your movie.
Exactly.
We have a few letters first. Let's do our letters first.
Letters. We've got letters. Opening up this package is just like opening up a package on Christmas Day. Not really. This one's from Ian Fleming.
Oh, hello, Ian.
No relation. He says, Mike, I've just started using distilled water in my black and white C41 and C41. I also filter using coffee filter papers, of which the UK has plenty. It's been absolutely the best thing I've done. Have you ever heard this?
No.
Using rainwater in your chemistry.
Are you sure he's not saying
He's
the
saying,
brand of the filters are called rainwater brand?
I don't think so, no.
He just said he's using distilled water.
He said, I'm doing distilled in all my black and white. I also,
Yes.
in addition,
Yes.
I also filter using coffee filter papers, rainwater, of which the UK has plenty, because it's always raining in the
True.
Ark.
I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Ever. What
He
else?
says it's the best thing he's done. He says, I keep my chemistry in all plastic 1-liter tonic water bottles, right?
Yes, as we do.
Which means I can squeeze out the air and see if any bits in the chemicals that shouldn't be there. See if there are any bits in the chemicals that shouldn't be there. So you just squeeze it.
If Ian Fleming is
Squeeze.
if he's shooting Vision 3 500T or 250D or 50D and he's developing at home with the kits, he's going to get those remjet particles.
Oh, right.
But it doesn't matter. I mean, they're unsightly to look at, but they don't affect the chemistry at all.
Maybe he's also saying if little bits from the rainwater get past the filter.
Well, the rainwater thing, Ian, you need to explain that. Like, a little more details. Are you saying that you put buckets on your roof and you collect rainwater and using that to develop film? Separately, the first statement he made, which is, I'm using distilled water. Bravo, I use distilled water. It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
I've had folks email us, and Leslie has responded, who had all these spots on the film only because they were using city tap water.
Oh.
And recently we did a spot, I think on this show,
What show?
where Matt was talking about there's a massive difference. Some municipalities They put all sorts of, bits in the water.
What?
They put fluoride, they put this, they put that. Or if your water is hard.
We have very hard water where I live.
And also there could be lime in the water.
Lime in the coconut?
But anyhow, distilled water, terrific. Mm-hmm. Terrific.
Well, thanks, Ian.
What else you got there?
Bill and Lynn Lowy.
Oh.
Should I open it?
Yeah.
It seems like maybe it's a Christmas card.
If this is a Christmas card, Bill and Lynn Lowy, this would be the first time we actually open your card on Christmas and not 9 months later.
Yeah, it seems like maybe it's a photo.
Oh, very nice.
Yes. Oh, look at him on his bike. Happy holidays, Lynn and Bill at the Forgotten Angels Camp Out, Valrico, Florida, March 2022. They're bikers. Look at that. Nice green Harley.
You see?
It's pretty cool. Bill, you're looking pretty tough, bro.
Whoa.
You and your chick. Is that
Holy
what they call them?
smokes, that is a Harley.
It's a biker chick.
That's a tough-looking bike.
Cause I'm the Fonz. Hey.
If it wasn't for that green jacket he's wearing, I'd be scared of him.
Well, good on you, Bill. He's enjoying his retirement. Looks like he's having fun.
Terrific.
And he's also, as we mentioned in the past, sent us tons and tons of stuff for the donation program.
That's wonderful.
That is much appreciated.
Yeah.
Where is it? Oh, they've sent donations in, which is greatly appreciated. Dan News, N-U-Y-E-S, from Albuquerque, New Mexico, sent us 2 cameras and filters and stuff. Thank you so much. Lynn McDonald sent some Pentax lenses and bags. She said, I know the cover on the camera looks bad, but I left it on to add more protection during shipping. I think she sent a nice Pentax. I don't know if it was a K1000 or a Spotmatic. Haven't used the camera in about 10 years, but it worked just fine when I tested it, and I think we actually sent it out. We just had a 2 big shipments go out, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Also, Ian Ross from Providence, Rhode Island, sent Canon QL17, a Nikon N90, and a Pentax Spotmatic F. Thank you so much. All good cameras for the donation program. So the camera donation programs, we just sent out, I can tell you, maybe 60 cameras.
Oh.
2 different schools. The first one was the University of North Dakota.
Okay.
Department of Art and Designs, under the leadership of Professor Suzanne Gonzalez-Smith. She got a nice package out there with tripods and filters and flashes and all kinds of stuff. And the Refuge Art School. Where are you located, Refuge Art School? In Kingsborough, Massachusetts. Got a very large shipment of stuff. All things that have been gone through and checked by the FPP Donations Camera Department, which is me.
Yeah, that's me.
And sent out there. And sent out to get young people into the art of film photography.
I'm going to put my request in. So I've been Professor Mike at the Union College in Cranford, New Jersey. Intro to film photography. So the spring 2023 semester, I was just I went into the catalog because I'm like, oh my God, like how many students can be in this class? Because I currently have 8 for the fall.
Yeah.
So I'm a little concerned because the 8 is like, for me, my mental maximum.
Yeah.
8 students, think about it. So that's 8 students.
Let me do the math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're right.
Later in this past semester, we started printing. Many thanks for Matt Marash for hoofing it out here to New Jersey to help me evaluate the enlargers, what they are, how to set them up, how to mix the chemistry again, because I was very rusty.
How many enlargers are there?
8.
Really?
There are 8 little rooms with each one has a little door.
You're kidding me.
There are 8 little enlarger rooms.
Wow.
Where, students can. So in this, one of the last classes, all 8 students were in, and we're all doing printing. So I'm actually literally running
around
from one room to the. Okay, good. All right, next. I'll be right back. All right. So set your f-stop. Okay, remember this is how to work the timer. Okay, don't go away. Do it next.
I'm trying to think back to William Patterson. I don't think there were separate rooms, right? The enlargers were all in one big room, weren't they?
Yes, they were. It was one room, and it was always on.
Yeah.
There's no door. It had a hallway that went in, then it curved.
Snaked. Yeah.
Snaked so that light would not get in or out.
Right.
And it's so funny because I don't know what your recollection is of William Patterson Darkroom. I have no recollection of being taught, but I have very vivid recollections of just using it.
Yeah.
Like going in there and
I don't remember. No, I don't remember anybody guiding me through the process.
No.
I think we went through it in class.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, go print your stuff. You just go in there and fumble about and, rely on, you crib off other people like, oh, what are they doing? What kind of paper do they have?
Folks out there, it's remarkable that, here in the U.S., I'm guessing elsewhere, that there are still existing high school darkrooms or college darkrooms, high school and college, that are functioning and have teachers that are actually, heading this up. So the Union College where I teach, I just simply received an email in September saying,
Help.
Yes, help. Is there someone at your organization that can teach this class? And I just didn't think about it. I just did.
See, Mike, your heart is not made of coal.
Who says that?
Oh, everybody.
Oh, okay.
No, you didn't even think about it. It was a very selfless act. I'm sure you're not doing it for the pay.
No. The school camera donation program that we've been doing, donating gear to schools by me teaching, has really enlightened me to have a better feel for how our teachers feel. Mm-hmm. FPP donated 8 Canon FT cameras to this class. Mm-hmm. I loaned them out to the students. I don't know what I would have done without them. So I know I can feel our other professors,
the anxiety they'd have, like, oh my God, when am I going to get cameras?
Because, it says in the criteria of, the catalog, you must provide your own camera. But even though it says it in black and white words,
who has that?
It doesn't translate to actual reality, because then even the students are not even going to know what to buy.
Gives you a little bit more empathy for what the teachers are going
Absolutely.
through, who are looking for cameras and whatnot from donation program.
Anyhow,
Anyway.
we have this program. John's heading it up. When the gang is in town, we will all work on it together. I'm so happy that our listeners and folks out there are still sending their gear here.
Yeah. It never stops.
And we're
steady stream.
And we also get a steady stream of requests.
Yep.
When we come back,
yeah,
Matt's going to be talking about the newest Riveni light meter. Yeah, he's digging it.
Tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Chris, what are we going to get for Grandma this year?
A football!
For Grandma?
Yeah. A puppy?
I don't think so.
A Kodak camera.
Now you're cooking. Of all the gifts you can give, here's one everybody likes. The Kodak Extralight 10 camera. It's got electronic flash built right in, so you're always ready in a flash. It's Kodak's most popular pocket camera. Right, Chris?
Right, but there's still nothing wrong with the football.
Kodak, America's storyteller.
Hey, we're back. And with us for this segment is Mr. Matt Marash. Matt is going to be talking about...
Riveni.
Yeah, that's right. Riveni light.
Oh, Riveni, sorry.
But you could you could sing it. Riveni.
Yeah. Is it Riveni or Riveni?
Riveni.
Oh.
What country?
Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right up the road.
We could walk there. We don't need a boat.
Sure.
Matt, take it away. What's new at the Riveni Light Meter Company?
So fresh out of Riveni Labs, Matt over at Riveni, of course, what was that? 2020? No, sorry, 2021. He sent out the spot meter, and I really hyped that one up because I use a spot meter a lot for my large format photography. But the one thing, and I always have mentioned this to him, I was relentless, Mike. We emailed back and forth, and I was like, can't do flash. Give me a meter that can, because the big thing that separates all these other projects and phone meters and everything that Sekonic just had a monopoly on is can't do flash. So really, I think was a big uphill battle for a lot of these smaller projects that Riveni was doing is get a meter that can do flash. Mm-hmm. And I remember him showing me a very early prototype of this meter. And he's like, what do you think about a meter that you never had to put down? I'm like, what do you mean not put down? Like just wear it on your neck? He's like, no. You can wear it.
Like a ring. Like brass knuckles.
Yeah. There you go.
Here it is.
That's what it looks like.
This is the new Riveni meter. But the interesting thing about this meter, it brings all of his prior experience in working with these user interfaces and designing meters into this new incident flash meter. So check it out. It's got the dome on top.
Yes.
It's got this really nice color display for changing your settings.
It's a very nice display.
It's got an incident dome. It does have a reflected little meter, which is very similar to what's in the spot meter.
How do you know what is there a viewfinder to look through? Or?
There's not. So you're kind of just aiming, and it's like a 5 degree, so you just
Okay.
kind of pop it in that direction.
Okay.
It's got it takes One of the upgraded features to his spot meter was you could get an adapter that took AAA batteries because the button cells they get cold. They don't last long. This one takes AAAs.
Nice.
It can take alkaline or rechargeable, which is nice. It is user upgradable via firmware. So in the battery door here, it does have a slot for micro USB, so you can update stuff. And because this is a flash meter, it doesn't just look for the pop from the dome, like the normal flash mode.
Yes.
It also has a sync port.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And that's for like a 3.5 inch or the mic jack. So you put your sync cord in there.
But you can do the pop flash, right?
Yeah, and that's probably going to be the most convenient for something you're wearing right there. And it has this little joystick down here. This is meant to be worn around your 2 or 3 fingers, depending. And it's got this little elastic that holds it on, and then you have this kind of center joystick, which is what moves everything around. And I can change different modes within here. So I have incident metering, reflective. So that's our reflective in the front. I have flash metering, and it also does have cine metering, cine through incident or reflective. And cine is for like you set your like shutter speed, shutter angle, and it will give you that. It has an ISO range. This is another big upgrade with the Riveni Labs. So because he's able to increase the sensitivity, that's what allows him to do the flash metering in here. This goes from ISO 1, so shooting paper, or maybe some of those cool FPP cine films, Yeti reversal, ISO 1. And it goes all the way up to ISO 12,800, which is crazy high.
That's crazy. I know one should be shooting that.
No, but if you maybe Didge, you're doing back and forth.
Who's ever shooting that?
I don't know. It has different priority modes: aperture priority, shutter priority. You can override the calibration of the meter, and then you can choose whole stops, half stops, third stops, all that stuff.
Very versatile.
The other thing that really surprised me, maybe I probably didn't read enough because Matt's very technical. Like, he's really good at designing these things, knows the user interface in and out. When I got this, I was playing around with it. I'm like, holy crow, Mike. When I take a measurement, it gives me color temperature.
Oh.
It's telling me the Kelvin.
To get a color temperature meter my whole life.
Look at this.
Really?
Right
Now
there.
you can.
4,200 Kelvin in
It
here.
hasn't changed. Well, before we measured the Kelvin.
The cool thing, too, is it's giving me those longer exposures. So if I'm shooting here at f32, I shouldn't. But, hey, it's 12 seconds at ISO 200.
That's great.
So
What do you think, ergonomically speaking, how is it for ease of use?
I don't know.
Get through the menu.
I think I've just been not playing enough of my Nintendo Switch because I think anybody that's video gaming is going to take right to this. But the other cool thing is it's ambidextrous. So left or right-handed
lefties or
interface.
righties, yeah.
Yep. So the user interface is pretty easy to move through. Your up and down shift you into the menu, and then press and hold to run through the menu to set everything. Oh, yeah, Mike. Within Flash. Within the Flash mode, you also can choose the Flash duration time periods. So that's like your T1 and your T half time. Have you played around with those?
No.
So depending on if you're using like a high-speed flash or like an LED style flash, you can check what the T half times is. That's where what frame half of the power of the flash comes. That's for like using speed lights at very low powers. So this can meter some very, very powerful and also very, very small lights at the same time.
Wow.
So Matt's just done a bang-up job on this. This is still a prototype I'm playing around with. I know he's made the announcements on this, but Riveni Labs will have more info, pre-order information. I'm still
How much?
It's less than 300.
What is this called again?
It's a light meter, Mike.
It's
come
very
on.
versatile. It has color. Color temperature meters itself
Those
is
are
expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of technical packed into that small container.
So the Riveni Labs incident meter, title of this is the incident meter, much more versatile, but it does not do a specific spot reading. So if you're not doing the landscape, but you're doing flash, or you want to be able to shoot your camera, quickly check your meter, and then go back to shooting, you don't have to put it down.
Pretty convenient.
It definitely does look like brass
Or
knuckles
if
now that
some
you talk
digital
about it.
guys walk up to you and start giving you crap, and you have to rumble.
There it is.
You can use it as brass knuckles.
I think you maybe need a brass knuckle accessory or maybe a spike for
There
it.
should
It
be
may be an upgrade.
I was going to say there should be a gold-plated update so that it looks like brass knuckles.
Yeah, maybe you can. It's 3D. It does have that 3D printed shell, so maybe he can bling it out.
How do you
for
set the ISO?
So to set the ISO, let me turn her on here real quick. All right, here we're up. So I just press down or up, and then I go right there to my ISO menu, and I just move my arrows to the side.
It's very
and then,
simple.
And then I give it a click.
Child
Okay.
could use
What
it.
do you put your shutter speed in?
So
Gotta go to
it
save mode.
depends on the priority. Right now I'm on aperture priority. So if I go shutter priority, I can set my shutter speed, and it's going to change the f-stop based on my reading right there.
So you could set your shutter as one. Like I'm thinking motion
You
picture.
can lock
Oh,
it
well,
in.
there's a cine mode.
Yeah.
Oh. Turn on cine.
So if I press down and I go to the mode to cine, boom.
So what shutter speed is set right now?
Right now it's at 15 seconds, so that has to be a little bit slower. That's like time-lapse stuff. So let's set my shutter speed to, you're shooting those 16 frame.
Yep.
So
1/30th.
1/30th, boom. ISO 1600 film, I'm at f45.
Give me that.
It's pretty cool.
So Matt, when does this hit the market?
It's available for pre-order now. We're looking at like
December
early
1st.
2023
Okay.
for shipping on these. Now, the other cool thing to mention about the Riveni, he's maybe the only project that, when backed on Kickstarter, he delivered exactly when he said he would.
Sure did.
Very few of those out there.
So you would say he's dedicated.
Super dedicated, really responsive to user feedback too.
He's in it to win it.
Yeah,
Thank you, Matt.
yeah.
We'll be right back.
Mr. Chester,
Oh, hi, kids.
we want a camera. It's a present for Mom.
Well, how much do you have?
This.
Well, your mom will like a camera that's real simple. Polaroid's one step. You never focus. Just point it, press the button, and the motor hands you the picture. The SX70 colors come up sharp and clear in minutes.
Boy, Mom's gonna be surprised. We'll take it.
Polaroid's One Step, the simplest camera ever.
Back. All right. How about a book in a month?
Okay.
How about a book of this is a Christmas unwrapping. We're going to unwrap the present of the book of the month
Stand by for that.
on Christmas Day.
He didn't like Christmas, he didn't like Santa Claus, and most of all, he didn't like children.
Time to wake this show up.
Hey, we're back. Joining us for this segment is Leslie Lazenby, and in the background is Mr. Owen McCafferty and Mr. Matt Mirage.
Hey.
Background is coffee draining from a 1979 percolator.
Fellas, don't drink that coffee. You'd never guess. There was a fish in the percolator.
So, Leslie, please, this is a book review, book of the month. Please take it away.
This book is called Good Pictures, A History of Popular Photography. It's by Kim Beil. It was published by Stanford University Press in 2020, so it's a relatively new book. It's available in a printed form or as an ebook. Beil discusses 50 trends. This is not at all what I thought it was from the title, but Beil discusses 50 trends in photography and their original appeal, which gave them the notoriety of being good pictures. That's very much Kodak's statement, isn't it? How to shoot good pictures. The text and the images used to give examples and how it was presented at the time. So they go through almost, I believe, decades and tell us why and what and why and how it changed. It is an excellent source for historic information on the photographic printed image. And it includes amateurs and artists, portrait, and commercial photography. Broad spectrum. This book was inspired by the Eastman Kodak series, How to Take Good Pictures. And that was published between 1912 and 1995. Wasn't that a great run?
Wow, that is a really good run.
She starts with Louis-Jacques Mandé Daguerre.
Oh, Daguerre.
Yes, French. And boils into Samuel Finley Breese Morris. Now, to be anybody special, do you have to have like 3 or 4 names in photography?
It helps. It really helps.
Anyway, we know Samuel F.B. Morris from his telegraph fame. He met Daguerre in 1839, and then he opened a studio in New York City, not only for customers to photograph them, but he also offered instruction to aspiring folks wanting to learn this media. And being the first master of photography here in the U.S., he dedicated and taught what made good pictures. Early photographs were shunned. They were considered...
It was not considered art.
And it was considered, get this, too accurate for self-love.
Oh my!
Due to the accuracy of the image.
That's like a song title, too accurate
For
for
self-love. Then, from the beginning of this book, with the daguerreotype, we move into the negative process with William Fox Talbot.
Mm-hmm. All those paper processes.
The paper process, though, allowed for retouching.
Mm-hmm.
Faster exposures.
Lies.
More relaxed subjects. Vignetting, adding color, changed the perception at that time to now what is a good picture, using all of these. Tintypes made for cheaper images. The material was cheaper.
Oh, imagine calling tintypes a cheaper medium.
Duplicates via exposure. You could shoot multiples on one piece and cut them apart. This made these things like a quarter each, that type of thing. And that made photography obviously more affordable to people, and thus more studios opened up. And once again, it changed the look and the technique for good pictures. Now, it's fun to think about it today, but the longest lasting trend that we still use today is the lighting. Example, Rembrandt style lighting.
Yes, classic.
And image cropping. Shadows in the beginning were considered defects. But when the Rembrandt style of lighting came in, Hollywood lighting, it's now something new and great, and everybody wants this. Now, today, we've gone back.
Full circle.
We've gone back. Ring lights, shadowless lighting.
Yep.
Other subjects in here include not only retouching the face, but the waist. Very common to nip in a woman's waist on these pictures. Instant photography, but not Polaroid. Rapid exposures with, as they called it, electronic sparks. Making images in places never before photographed, such as your home. Kodak changed the good picture image by allowing consumers to record family events. It was much more human, much more relaxed on their brownie cameras. And by human, I mean everyday life, humor, and emotions went along with it. As you go through this book, you're going to find subjects like wildlife and landscape photography, how we imitate painting and the technique of the masters. When we had the addition of color, when we used sepia to change
toning
to soften it, when we actually then did hand color. And then, of course, Kodachrome, wonderful Kodachrome. You have portrait styles. You have the graininess of the 60s. All at once, that became a cool thing to do. Grain now goes in and out of favor once again. Cropping style, full body, no cropped images to Hollywood haircuts. Polaroids were not only instant gratification, but they were also used often for instant learning tools, artistic creations, and serious photographer, I don't mean serious, I mean studio photographers to check lighting. So it all had its place in this history too. Another thing it talks about that I'm not really wild on, in the past was an error, cross-processing. You ran a roll of film through the lab the wrong way. You just got down on your knees, please, when the customer picked this up, and now it's intentional. She talks about bokeh.
Bookie.
Bokeh.
Bokeh.
Bookie.
Bokeh.
Uncle June, how was Boca?
Photoshop. How that has changed to what a good picture is. How before, if we had something soft-focused, it was looked down upon. How it goes in and out of style. How night imagery goes in and out of style. Candids versus posed and street photography. Hollywood glamour versus paparazzi. So the list goes on and on. It's a hard book to put down. I call it from sepia to selfies. The rules of good pictures are always shifting, reflecting new ways of thinking about ourselves and our place in the visual world. It is an excellent source of the popular images and the history of images. I'm also reminded really of my own images that sometimes I don't like it all. Go out, shoot some film, make a contact sheet, and think, why did you ever get out of bed?
Yeah.
And then I'll look at them in a month or a year later, looking at something and think, oh my God, I love that. What was wrong with me?
Fresh set of eyes.
Fresh set of eyes. I just, almost everything I rarely like that I shoot first time around. So I don't know who sent me this book. It simply showed up in my mailbox. Whether it may have been the publisher, there was no note to it. Brand new book. Whoever sent it, thank you very much.
Oh, you don't know who sent you this book?
I
Just
do
showed
not.
Up? Maybe it's a listener.
It could be.
Yeah.
I wondered because it was so new if it could have been the author.
Over the months and few years, folks have contacted us for book reviews. And I have send it to Leslie Isenby. We may have discussed it. We just forgot.
It's highly possible.
Yeah.
Yes. I really actually found it a hard book to put down. So if you enjoy that kind of thing of what's in and what's out, why and when, and even the history of photography, it's another book that I really recommend. And once again, it's called Good Pictures, A History of Popular Photography by Kim Beil, Beil.
Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome. What'd you see, Matt?
No, I just love that it has a whole chapter on ruin porn, because I know some of the people from that movement, like the urban exploration in Detroit and everything.
Yes.
They really do go through drone photography. So yeah, going through just the fads, the techniques, and then they're placing. This is great. I kind of like this because it's not super technical.
Exactly.
But it's a great intro. I mean, this is like a history of photography course that's masked as like you can take this like an assignment by assignment type thing. You could base a whole year's curriculum off of this.
Sure, you could.
A
lot of
visual
it's
history.
because it's even given by decade and by technique both.
Yeah,
so
you can
get
really
a lot
kind
of
of
miles.
you can evolve through photography in this. This is
But
great.
actually, it's kind of like one thing I learned. If you shoot a really crappy, bad, ugly picture, hold on to it. You'll be in a few years.
Yeah, just wait it out.
Wait it out.
We'll be right back.
The Sally and Janet and Dinah and Trisha, just wait till they see the gift they're getting from me. I'm gonna get you a Kodak disc, win your heart, get a kiss, catch the fun. Just like this, I'm gonna get you a Kodak disc. Easy to load and fun to use. One has a telephoto too. Well, how can you miss? Who can resist when you get him a Kodak disc?
Merry Christmas, Mom.
We're going to send film to... Hey, we're back. So, John...
Uh-huh.
I found...
What'd you find?
I found over here... Well, we have 2 bags of film.
Shit. Is that all mine?
So, in the camera donation program, which we talked about earlier...
Yeah.
John, when he's vetting the cameras, he'll frequently find a roll of exposed film.
Yes.
And we have a bag.
That's all full of exposed film?
Yep.
We're going to send it to that guy. The I Found Your Film guy.
Oh, you want
on
to
Instagram. I think he's in, Sweden or something.
Oh, the I Found Your Film guy.
Yes. He goes to, garage sales.
Is he still doing that thing?
I think
it's well
so.
over a year now. So
I don't know. I haven't looked.
There was this guy, and they emailed us as well, and they said,
"Hey, do you have any found film?"
And all we said was, "Can you pay for the shipping?" Because he was in Norway or Sweden.
Yes, out in the frozen tundra.
Right. This is a bag. This is a bag. This is a bag.
Undeveloped.
And in the bag, there's other bags of John Fideli shot film, not yet processed.
All that stuff in there is mine.
Yep.
You sure? No,
Positive.
that's Mark Dalzell's?
No, this is all you. Got Sphamacolor.
Oh, my God. So many memories just imprisoned.
So, at the Union College darkroom,
Yeah.
I haven't used them yet, but there are tanks, like a 5-reel tank.
Oh.
That's what you need, right?
I guess so.
So you can come in like a jackpot.
I still have at my house, I'm not even joking, I have 30 strips of film. 30 negatives waiting to be scanned.
Well, maybe that's, since I didn't buy you a Christmas present, maybe this is what I get you for Christmas.
There you go.
I'll send some of the stuff out.
Get scanned, though. I don't want no negatives back. Done with
John.
that.
I don't want no negatives back.
It means no more missing those once-in-a-lifetime pictures because your flash gun batteries are dead.
Now, do you put your negatives in the print files?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, of course.
Folks at home, print file, it's... How would you describe it if you don't know the brand?
What do you mean describe it? It's just plastic with inserts in them, so you can put your negatives, cut them into 4-inch strips.
Right.
5 or 6 shots per strip. And you can insert them in there and label them and archive them all nice.
It's 3-hole punch, so you put them in a binder.
Right. I got them in binders, yeah, for sure.
Different topic, different day, folks, but photo negative management is this whole thing.
Yep.
Next up.
What?
Well, Matt's going to be talking about nonlinear editing on the telephone.
Oh, yeah. A telephone.
So, Matt, he hooked up one of these rotary phones.
Yes. You got to dial it to edit it.
Yeah.
It's like dial 3 for a splice and 4 for a dissolve.
When John and I edited back in the Meadowland Showcase days.
Oh, my God. It was so painful.
So, we were blessed to have access to the studio.
Absolutely.
So, I worked for Comcast, and it was Comcast... video department. We shot commercials.
Yeah.
And it was a little edit room, but it was stacked with decks, and it had an edit controller.
3/4-inch decks at first, right?
U-matic 3/4-inch tape. Before this thing Matt's going to talk about.
Yeah.
You used to have to take your source tape and then electronically edit it through an edit controller to another tape.
Mm-hmm. Your master tape.
Your master tape, but you would have to edit it in order. So let's say John and I are working on music video. You find your shot, then you have to shuttle.
So we have four tapes, 4 source tapes.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, next shot is on tape 1.
And you would take
at 20 minutes and 35 seconds. So you put the tape in, shuttle it to that, and then take that edit. Looks good. You're like, okay, next shot is on tape 4.
Right.
So you eject tape 1, take tape 1 out, put tape 4 in, and then find the time code on that tape. Next shot's on tape 1 again. Go back, put tape on. It was nightmare.
It's a nightmare, especially when we were working on a music video that had 30 frame edits.
Yeah.
Like edits that would go.
Yeah, there were some 3 or 4 frame edits.
You have to do one at a time.
Yep. And then you would look at preview and they're like, oh, that's it. And then you'd preview it would look great. And then you would take it and it would not look like the preview at all. So then you'd have to go back and redo that. And you'd lose a frame off your master because you'd have to go over that previous edit.
Oh, my God.
Remember that shit?
Yes, of course.
Nightmare.
So that was linear video editing. And, of course, when we were in film school, that's nonlinear. So you have your film, the film that you shot, a reversal film, so the original.
Yeah.
It was either Ektachrome or Tri-X. And you'd look at it in a viewer, and you'd make notes with a grease pencil. Then you would start cutting your film, and then
physically splicing it together.
Yes. So when I was making a short film, I was at my first Lodi apartment.
Lodi.
I took very tiny little nails, and I put nails in the entire wall around the entire living room.
So you hung all your film up.
All the film was hung in order for editing.
Yeah.
And then I would splice it together.
Yeah.
And then you look at it in the viewer, and then you start trimming it down if you need be. And this would take a long time.
Oh my God, days and days and days of intense editing. Total concentration. You'd forget to eat and stuff.
Shout out to Mark Lucy, my roommate at the time, for putting up with that. There was so much film hanging that when Miss Bodine, my cat, would poop, there would be little bits of film in the poop.
My God, she was eating the film?
Yeah.
She was eating the edits off the floor.
You know the little edits, like a little frame?
Like sprockets or...
Yeah, I know this is not funny,
sprockets.
folks, but I will say she passed them perfectly. She passed them so well. If I needed a cut, I'd be like, oh shit.
Just clean it off, throw it back in there.
That didn't actually happen.
No pets were hurt.
So, Matt's going to talk about nonlinear editing on a phone, a smartphone, not a rotary phone.
Let's see. From what we were talking about to this is a matter of how many years?
The progression.
50 years?
40 years.
40 years.
Let's not age ourselves too much.
The 80s. Yeah, 43 years.
Crazy stuff.
Yep.
Okay. We'll be back.
Once in a while you give, just for the fun of it.
When you give a Kodak Tele-Instamatic camera outfit, you give everything you need to take exciting color pictures on Christmas morning. Tele-Instamatic cameras take pictures 2 ways: normal shots and telephoto shots.
For the fun of it.
Kodak Tele-Instamatic cameras start at less than $39. Outfits a few dollars more.
Hey, we're back. We're talking about editing video on your phone. And you may now also be saying, what? No, we don't talk about Dig. Well, we do, because there are so many FPP folks out there shooting movie film, and they're sending the film to FPP, and we're sending back .mov files and .mp4 files. Folks who don't have a desktop or feel they don't have a setup for editing in 2022 and beyond is now literally at your fingertips. You may have to upgrade your Samsung Galaxy 5, as I did, but once you have a modern phone in your hand, the power you have is incredible. So in the gallery with me today is Leslie Lazenby.
Hello, everyone.
And Owen McCafferty.
Oh, hey.
And heading up the segment is...
Matt Mirage. M-A-T-M-A.
Matt Mirage.
Long-time listener, first time on the show.
So, Matt, talk about what power do people have?
It's insane power, Mike. I don't even have I have a beef with paying way too much for a phone. I'm not going to buy the 13 Pro Max Ultra. Dropping 1800 or upwards of $2,000 for a phone is unconscionable to me. That's so much film. I think of everything in terms of how much film I can shoot instead. So I only have this isn't even the newest one. This is a Pixel 3a. So I paid like what $300 cash for this like 3 years ago, but it wasn't until I started doing more things on the go and doing some of these YouTube shorts, some TikToks, some small stuff like that, or if you wanted to push something to Reels or your I can't remember the Facebook equivalent of it, like their stories.
Story, yeah.
Any of those, being able to push small little short films to that is as easy. Of course, you just roll right with the phone, but if you want to polish it a little bit, add some titles, transitions, color effects. There's even keyframing stuff now. There are so many apps out there on the phone that just allow you to do it.
So, hey, let's say I just got my MP4 back from FPP.
Yep.
It's a roll of Super 8.
Great.
I want to add music. I want to do a few things to it. What do I do?
Done. There are a bunch of apps that can do it. So, of course, like if you have an iPhone, the iMovie that's on there is going to allow you quite a bit.
iMovie's on my phone already?
Yeah. So
really?
Like the editor on your phone is fine.
Okay.
But if you want to do more advanced stuff, iPhone has things like, actually, let me get you a list of some apps.
Is iMovie associated with Final Cut?
Yeah. iMovie is the pipeline. So like you start with iMovie, and then once you learn the ropes, you go to Final Cut, and it's an easier transition.
So if I already use Final Cut, I could backtrack into iMovie very easily?
Yeah. Except
Okay.
the project's not going to have all the same stuff.
Okay.
You're not going to... Yeah. So it's usually iMovie up, not
Oh, gotcha.
Final Cut down. Yeah. Like you can't pop an XML file into... Well, you might be able to. I use Resolve. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
But Resolve would murder even the best phone. So we can't have something huge like the Cinema Suite. But there's some impressive apps that are out there. Now I'm an Android guy. I don't have Apple beef. I just don't have Apple stuff.
What's an Android?
Exactly. There are a few apps that are out there. Now Adobe, if you're an Adobe person, you really like the Adobe stuff, they have what's called Premiere Rush, which is a mobile ready version of Premiere. I don't like that one, but that's on there. There's one called Filmora Go.
Filmora.
I use that as the desktop version.
Yeah, Filmora has a desktop version. So a lot of these do have desktop equivalents, which is really nice. The one I personally use is actually really low on a lot of people's lists, but I use it because it's not resource intensive, which is important for my piddly 4-year-old phone. I use VN, which I think stands for Vlog Now Video Editor. But VN is, again, it's low resources, but whenever I do, I'll do some live streams. If I'm really bored, I'll do a live stream on TikTok, come develop film with me, and I'll do Q&As and stuff. TikTok will usually throw those live streams out, but you can download the raw versions of those. I'll take the raw footage from a TikTok, and I'll be able to edit, color grade, change exposure, and add titles to it all right in here. So you have a full... Check it out, Mike. There's a whole timeline. And it's just like any other video editor. You have multiple timelines. You can add tracks, music, sound effects. It's free.
Free?
Yeah. You watch a 5-second ad when you start it up.
Incredible.
So, but just wild stuff that you couldn't think of even a few short years ago. Now, of course, if you are an iPhone user, so those are your multiple tracks, you can add music tracks up there. And
I love that.
Oh, titles?
Yes.
Yeah. And then all your color grade stuff.
That's very much like the original iMovie. Multiple tracks. Yes.
Yeah, so, but it's
simple to use.
It's right there.
Now, do you know, does Windows Movie Maker have a mobile app for Mike?
It doesn't.
Sorry, Mike.
That's all right.
I really can't wait for the day when DaVinci puts out a mobile version.
They don't have. That was
they
one
don't.
of the questions I was
I
gonna
would
ask.
move to them instantaneously. But Blackmagic cameras are they're an uphill battle because it's a Lego. You assemble a camera that eventually kind of works, but they're software and they're amazing.
And DaVinci Resolve, I think, is actually pretty easy to use. Because
You're one of the rare ones.
Oh, really? And I'm saying that not because I'm not a computer guy. I don't do a lot of video editing. As Mike knows, I mostly project my film. I do manual editing. But when I do use it, I think for the basic stuff, I think it's pretty...
Oh, a lot of people hate it.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not... So, compare that to Final Cut X, Resolve is there's a lot going on. So you open it up. Some people when you open it up, if you are easily overwhelmed in your visual field, Resolve is the single worst thing you can do. So that's why I like about these mobile editors. They make it very easy.
I think all software programs are overwhelming went out of just opening it up. I mean,
Yeah.
so
Like even notes.
I mean, Henrik Kudo, my friend Henrik, I was ready to do nonlinear editing. I said, what do I use? He's like, oh, Final Cut X, you'll love it. Opened it up, and he was there because, and I'm an analog editor, so I knew what to do.
Where's this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's this? Where's this? Where's this? Where's this? Okay, great, thanks. Goodbye.
It's great
Get outta
when you
here.
have somebody that can translate that for you.
Yes.
For me, it actually didn't start getting easier because, like, I see things in terms of what I want to do for stills, but you have to change terms or, because there's a different cinema term for this and that. Resolve came out with this was like 2 years ago, they came out with this thing called the Speed Editor. It's a little key. I even packed it with me. I should have brought it in. But it's a little keyboard with a little track wheel and everything, and it has all the hotkeys. So I could sit there and learn the 680 hotkeys that are there. But this is already like a pre-built one, so I have an in key, out key. I can roll and slip edit and stuff really, really quick, and it's tactile. So now I can like sit and watch my shows, and I can just do a quick cut. You were telling me, we were talking some previous shows, how long it takes to even just do a few short videos.
Yeah.
What used to do like a full LFF, it used to take a couple of days to cut together a 10-minute video. Now I can do like the rough part of it before I start adding in sound and color. I can do the rough in like 30 minutes now.
Okay.
It's so it just whatever works for you, and for a lot of people that will be the phone. Now these cannot handle. Your phone is not built to do ProRes, so like get it out of your head that you're doing like movie grading kind of stuff. But for home movies, quick little shorts, stuff to post to some other mobile viewed device, it's great. Leslie,
You know what Henrik always said? If you think you want to make movies and all you have is your phone, you use your phone.
You get started with the phone.
Don't let that be your deterrent. Use
absolutely.
what you have.
Yeah, but like don't try to force something on the medium that's not meant for.
Exactly.
Yeah, and yeah, the phone is a great way to start. That was the advice. I think I made a lot of management mad at Midwest Photo when people would come into the shop and asking like what camera they should get, and I said, "Oh, can you pull your phone out for a second?" They just spent $1,850 buying a new iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I'm like, "Well, what's your camera budget? Because you just bought this phone." And the camera budget was always $400 or $500.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you have a strictly better camera right there. There's things that it can't do versus
Yeah, but the iPhone does 4K, Matt.
No, it's honestly, I will recommend that for video until you're ready to spend more than what that phone costs. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Shoot with that. Get sick of it.
Folks, you don't know how good you have it. The fact that your studio, everything is in your pocket when. In the 1990s...
It used to be a $30,000 deck.
Yeah.
It was a whole room.
You have to shoot... Let's say you were shooting on vid. Shoot on vid. Then you have to find a friend that works for cable TV. Then you have to bribe that person with fried chicken to sneak in at night.
I'm Colonel Harold Sanders, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about my Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
Can sneak in at night to editor linear.
Yeah.
Tape deck to tape deck.
Ugh.
I mean, it was a real chore to get a little project done. So these days, oh my God, so much power.
So much power. And I think if you're not constantly reminding yourself how much there really is there, it's easy to take it for granted and say, I don't want to do this. But yeah, play around with it. And now this one is going to be a controversial one. It is also free, but there are, of course, strings with any free anything. The best NLE that's out there that gets people into nonlinear video type editing is TikTok.
Really?
They even have a rotoscope filter, Mike.
Get out of town.
There's rotoscoping, there's green screening.
TikTok has an edit app built in it.
It's the best one that's out there.
Is that right?
Yes.
And what is TikTok?
Exactly.
I'm not on TikTok. I need to be.
But it's really
12-year-olds are young.
Now, do you have any concerns with TikTok being a Chinese company and
outside the normal U.S. propaganda? Like
they're stealing as much information as anyone else is.
It's just what suit they're wearing that's stealing it. That's my kind of opinion.
We're talking about private, privacy. The fact that if you're a user of Facebook, that they have access to all the information to your phone. So any free app you use,
exactly any free app, if you're not paying for it, yeah, you are.
You've signed. When you hit I agree,
you've signed away.
Your rights.
Exactly. So you have to come into it with that mentality. Like, what are you shooting that you're that concerned? Like,
Yeah.
If it is going to be that kind of stuff, get the right equipment for it. Pay for that privacy.
Super 8 and an editor.
Yeah, there you go.
And some splice tape.
Another reason to shoot film.
Yep.
Yes.
But it really is a great nonlinear editor. If you can see past the gimmicks, the dances, the thirst traps, the hot takes from younger folks, there are a lot of things that you can use to your benefit from these. So I try to keep an open mind about that, because there is so much power. And I think having worked in the retail space and seeing it evolve from, there was one camera in-house and it was $10,000 that could kind of do video, to now it's the single worst thing you could see walk in through the door that does even better than that. It's a really, really powerful thing to see, and we can use that to our advantage. Like now, people were DIY film scanning with like small DSLRs. We're to the point now where DIY scanning can take place with a phone. And wouldn't it be so cool to like have like a really cool motion scan done with the phone and edited right on there? It's cool.
How nice to edit on a tablet.
Mm-hmm.
Phone is that you'd be thinking like, I'm a pro now. I got a big screen.
It just came to tablet. So like the other thing is, there's always the legitimacy factor, and this kind of goes back to when Leslie reviewed that awesome book,
Good Pictures.
Good Pictures. The legitimacy always lags behind until it's forced down the throats of old hat professionals. Mm-hmm. Capture One now has a mobile app.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
And so now you have art directors that no longer have to breathe over your neck. They can be on the other side of the country
and look at your work,
working with it from their iPad and doing all that stuff and changing camera settings. So the perception of the mobile device is completely changed. I learned this from somebody that works in broadcast cinema. He works for. He will do contract gigs for Amazon and Netflix when they send out skeleton crews, either to like Atlanta or like basically anywhere that isn't the West Coast. Do you know how they do this now, Mike?
Mm-mm.
This is really, really cool. They'll send out a crew of like, if it's a really, really indie thing, it could be like a 4-person crew. Like seriously, for like for pickups on like a show for like a location.
Wow.
The reason they can go so skeleton on this now is they may have one guy that does all the Digitech stuff, and the reason they can do that is the same thing that they'll use. So wireless transmission has been a thing for monitors on set for a while now. Now those same wireless transmitters have SIM cards. Yeah. That SIM card will upload an encoded H.265 daily to a global server. So so the team that's got all the good stuff over in LA, they're editing dailies with a color grade. So before stuff is even backed up for the end of the day, there's already a 720 copy with the color grade that's been approved by the art director remotely.
How do they get the videotape to the studio? Is that just send it by mail? Or
so if it's a large thing, they will. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's funny you should say that. Back in the 90s, once again in the 90s, when I did crew work, I usually did audio. We'd be on a news crew, and we'd be downtown waiting in the bushes for Madonna to come out of a building. And, when we got our B-roll footage, then we hop in the car, then we glide to Midtown to some building, rush it upstairs, and then they have to... And I would say to Gary, the producer, like, what are we doing? We have to throw it up on the bird. So we had to rush that tape upstairs to a building that had that service, and then they satellite
over to the broadcaster,
over to whoever wanted the footage.
Yeah. Wow, but it's such a cool thing, and I don't know, maybe it's weird coming from the mouth of someone that FEP listeners probably just assume is stuck in 1854, with large format cameras. I love this technology and the ability to combine it. There's always a way to spin it and use it. But if they're doing that, that's so cool. I love it when you can mix the old and new. Like I'm not just gonna go to like no. If that's your game is going, if that's your whole thing is going to like reenactments, and that's fine. I like living in the future sometimes.
The old gives you the knowledge and the appreciation.
Yes, and you can appreciate where you've come from on that. Yeah.
Yep.
But I think to say everything that has come out after you were like in your formative years crap is just, it's not giving it a fair shake.
Right.
Stuff's pretty cool.
Well, how do people get started? What's the easiest way to get started? Go to TikTok.
Well, I'm not plugging any one in particular, but there are no shortage of top 10 lists for Android and Apple. I would recommend start by searching with your preferred device. So if you have an iPhone, the top 3 apps for that are going to be different from the ones that are Android compatible, because there's going to be security options. And I will say, even though I'm an Android guy, the decidedly better video is actually out of the Apple devices. And the reason why is many apps that go onto Apple's store have a special developer pack with that uses the full quality from their camera. Android apps are designed using only the preview quality of the camera. So anybody that shoots something that natively with the phone, so if you're filming with your phone, Android or Apple always looks better than Android. So just small little tidbits.
Wow.
But yeah, you start with the App Store, start with the 5 stars. If it's made by a camera manufacturer like Canon, Nikon, Sony, it's guaranteed to have 2 stars or less, so don't use those. I know it sounds weird, but camera manufacturers' apps are the worst.
It's interesting. Well, okay, thank you very much, Matt.
Thanks, guys. Don't hate me for talking dig.
Questions, podcast at filmphotographyproject.com. We'll be right back.
Instant photography by Kodak and the night before Christmas.
Hey, Joey. What? He's downstairs. Nobody downstairs, Arnold. There is so.
When you need a picture in an instant, you'll love the Kodak Colorburst 250 with built-in flash.
Joey, look. Wow.
Brilliant color built-in flash with the Colorburst 250 instant camera.
All right. Well, that wraps up this Christmas.
Yeah. You know, I was going to say, the other thing that's with the advent of technology that's gotten smaller it's just the fact that you can shoot on your phone. And even all the digital cameras are now much smaller. I used to carry around like 30 pounds on my shoulder.
Yes.
To document weddings and,
newsy stuff.
News events, etc. To the point that I would go to my chiropractor, Dr. Pete, and he would have to adjust my shoulders because one shoulder was lower than the other from carrying that weight around for all those years. So you kids don't know how good you got it.
Yeah, no, it's astonishing.
Yeah,
especially if
such a short time that everything has become so small.
Yeah. Listen, we have some good episodes coming up. We have some episodes about basic movie making, using film. Please do tune in for that. It's a lot of fun, and I don't know, maybe you think, oh my God, it's expensive, so I'm not going to get into that. But I will tell you this. You'll have the film the rest of your life.
Yep.
So once you shoot your movie on film, there's not going to be, you don't have to worry about the technology aging out. You don't have to worry about your phone going kaput.
Or the cloud crashing.
As long as you have your roll of film, stored somewhere safe, you're good forever and can pass that along, to someone else in your family.
Someone else in your family who will not care until they get to be like 50, 60 years old, and they're like, oh, what's this? And then they'll just be amazed.
Right. And, hey, on January 15th in West Orange, New Jersey, it kind of ties into what we do here with film, Jack and the Beanstalk, Abbott and Costello meet Jack and the Beanstalk.
Was that like a 50s movie? It was near the end of their career, I think.
So we here, this Film Photography Project and Film Media, sister companies, and we had Bob Furmanek and his awesome company, 3D Archive.
They've kick-started
Abbott
and Costello projects. And I think this was one of the first ones. They also did Africa Screams, which was another later period Abbott and Costello film. And they also did the first season of the Abbott and Costello show and the second season of Abbott and Costello.
1952.
Yeah.
Gene Yoroboro was the director. Story by Pat Costello.
Is that like his daughter or something?
Was daughter or wife?
Oh.
Jack, Lou Costello, and his agent, Mr. Dinkle, Bud Abbott, are struggling to find work through an employment agency. They land a gig babysitting a troublesome boy named Donald. Trying to get the child asleep, Jack reads him the fairy tale Jack and the Beanstalk, which subsequently lulls Jack asleep, transporting him into a fantasy.
Wow.
So January 15th at the West Orange Film Festival, it's called. I'm going to try to drag, since we did the work on the film.
I'll go.
I'll
go. You buy the tickets, I'll be there.
Be fun, run into some FPP people.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Come and see the screening.
Yeah.
Is this probably one of the first projections of it? He may have projected it elsewhere.
Probably the first projection of the, one of the first projections of the remastered.
Right.
And don't be fooled by imitations. There are, if you search on your Roku, you may find the movie. There are other versions out.
Is that
there.
is it public domain, I wonder, or no?
That I don't know, but there are like older tape versions.
Yeah.
So this is the brilliant remastered version.
Mike and I both did the Kickstarter for the Abbott and Costello show, and the first season on Blu-ray looks amazing.
Yes.
I mean, so if that's any indication, that the print's going to look pretty fabulous.
And so we're going to have some more shows coming up, more bonus episodes.
Bonus?
Maybe do a New Year's Eve show.
Yeah.
Christmas That Almost Wasn't. Is that on your watch list?
No.
Oh.
Children! I've been running away from children all my life.
Maybe your kids would like it.
1 year you'll get it.
Maybe, you see, this is the
Santa
type
Claus
of thing,
versus the Martian is on our...
This is the type of thing that you don't like, but if your kids saw it, they may be like, oh my God, this is great.
Nah, they're 15 and 13 now, so they may have aged out of that. We watched, every year we watch Babes in Toyland.
Okay.
Laurel and Hardy,
Yep.
which freaked them out as a kid, which freaked me out as a kid because it's a pretty freaky production. And Santa Claus versus the Martian, which is also another freaky thing. So worth it.
What about the original cartoon Grinch voiced by Boris Karloff?
We haven't watched those yet. We're going to like do that and Rudolph.
Okay.
And what else?
Where do you see those now?
Streaming.
Okay.
Amazon Prime has them all.
Okay.
Burgermeister Burger. Yeah. That's a good one. What's the one with the Heat Miser and the Cold
The
Miser?
Year Without a Santa Claus.
That's a good
podcast of filmphotographyproject.com. Enjoy the festivities this holiday
Yes.
season.
Be good to yourself and be good to each other.
Right.
Jingle bells, Christmas song makes you want to sing along with me. With me. Mistletoe like the snow. Doesn't everybody know that Santa Claus is coming? It's a very special holiday that's coming our way. This December, so remember, look out, don't shout, no, don't you cry. Something's caught your eye, 'cause Santa Claus is watching you. Mistletoe like the snow. Doesn't everybody know that Santa Claus is coming? It's a very special holiday. It's coming our way this December, so remember, look out, don't shout, no, don't you cry. Something's caught your eye, 'cause Santa Claus is watching you. 'Cause Santa Claus is watching you. 'Cause Santa Claus is watching you. 'Cause Santa Claus is watching you.
This is the first Noel that I spent alone for the past 5 years. I spent Christmas at home, but this time is different. Now can you see there'll be no more Christmases for baby and me, baby and me. Now there ain't no snow on the ground, and my thermostat has been turned down. The Christmas lights, they are gone, and I'll spend Christmas night alone. To live, to live
Got all my Christmas cards to send. Can't help but think when it's over, I'm too tired to pretend. Christmas time is here, but when it's gone, I'll be glad when Christmas time is done. Memories of friends once here are gone. Loneliness at Christmas time ain't fun.
It's Christmas time in the city. Time to look up my old friends. Remembering how they look so pretty. When will I see them again?
Christmas time is here, but when it's gone, I'll be glad when Christmas time is done. Memories of friends once here now gone. Loneliness at Christmas time ain't fun.
So I wish you all a Merry Christmas, full of secure circumstance. If we can find out what we're missing yet, Christmas time, one more chance.
Christmas time is here, but when it's gone, I'll be glad when Christmas time is done. Memories of friends once here are gone. Loneliness at Christmas time ain't fun. Christmas time is here, but when it's gone, I'll be glad when Christmas time is done. Memories of friends once here are gone. Loneliness at Christmas time ain't fun.
In a few moments, you will hear Big Ben bringing out the old yard and bringing in the new. And it's also the end of broadcasting for Thursday, the end of broadcasting for 1970, and the beginning for 1971. The time now is a Happy New Year.
The time now is